But let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's roll on over. I'm going to shrink myself down. Look at this. I love this website. This is a fantastic website. This gives real good information. This is as of Sunday. So I'm hoping to release this Tuesday as still an individual clip. So let's take a look at where it is. I plan on doing weekly updates on this going forward and using this map as it. My wife's so nice, she brings me a drink so I don't cough on you. I'm not dying yet. Okay, let's see, where are we at? Mainland China's numbers are screwed up. We don't care about mainland China, not because we don't care about the people, but because their government can't report worth crap. If we look down at the corner, let me expand this. This is a logarithmic scale of the current infection. So let's get rid of mainland China. Let's get rid of recovered. Both of those numbers are skewed because of China's lovely reporting nature, or lack thereof. So we are looking at the coronavirus. It is still increasing. This is bad. This is a logarithmic scale. If I go back to just the actual, you can see it is exponential, which is kind of scary. And we will see it jump around, counting on which countries it hits throughout the week. I do want to continue doing this again every week as this progresses, or until this dies out. If it becomes a serious threat to all of us, we'll see how long I can do this. So the main ones, of course, China, but we don't care because those numbers are screwed up. We are seeing some in the United States. Europe is being slammed hard right now. I mean, just absolutely. The beginning of this week, we saw Italy get infected. There, let me put a box around it. Italy get infected. It is now over 1,000 infected, which is really bad. So they have a lot still remaining as far as their case, as far as the cases go. Let me expand the main map here so we can take a look at just the world itself. We'll go through some individual countries, see where we stand, and then we'll compare those numbers next week to this week and see where it goes. And I'll put this link in the description of both the clip and live stream so that you can, if you want to, you can go look up this map yourself and keep track of it. And let's go ahead and hit, you can start seeing it down in Australia, which I know that there's at least a couple down there last week, but wow, that started to hit. So let's go through the major ones that are currently suffering, the major nations that are currently suffering. We have South Korea here, which has huge issues right now. We have confirmed cases 1,112, so well over 1,000 confirmed cases. We have recovered only 30 total recovered, 17 deaths, so not a lot of death. Unfortunately, that's still really high compared to the recovered numbers. In fact, there is a couple of... Oh, that was the wrong one. Okay, that explains things. Okay, that makes a lot more. I've clicked on the wrong one. Not the one that I was telling you. The one that I was telling you was correct. South Korea, right here. The one I was telling you still was selected on Italy. Italy next. We currently have... let me go back here. I'm sorry, those numbers were wrong that I was originally telling you about South Korea. I apologize for that. South Korea is currently at 3,526 confirmed cases. Now, these are the cases that have been tested and confirmed. Currently, there are 17 deaths, 30 recovered. Existing cases, we still have 3,479 of them that are currently sick in South Korea. North Korea, of course, we don't hear anything from, and we probably never will. We'll probably go in there and there'll be a ghost town. Those poor people. King Jong-un is not in favor of looking weak in any way, shape, or form. Okay, flashing over to Italy. Italy has... selected. There we go. Okay. 1,128 confirmed cases. We have 29 deaths so far in Italy. Actually, it says 29 on one side and says 30. Ah, forget it. 34 deaths. In one side, we have 83 recovered, which is fantastic. But that still seems about half-wise. That's not, of course, the death toll. It's not 50-50% people that die, but this is so far not looking so terribly pleasant. Okay, flash over to Iran. Iran is not doing so good. Might be because your prophet told people to drink camel urine as part of the cure. Or maybe you should lick each other's fingers more. Make sure you suck the blessings off those fingers. That's why they're having coronavirus issues. They're not sucking each other's fingers enough. If you don't believe me, look in the Hadith and the Quran. You will find these references, unfortunately. Hygiene was not something that the great God Allah gave us in any way, shape, or form. Freaking morons. Okay. So the confirmed cases that we're seeing are 1,128. The deaths that we're seeing as of now is 54. We have 175 recovered. Going down to Japan. Flashing over to Japan, we have 978 confirmed. We have only 5 deaths. Confirmed cases in France. Earlier this week, I definitely took a look at France itself. And we were... Let me just check something here. Get back to France. Okay. France. Earlier this week, like I said, Italy got it. France did not yet have it on this map. As soon as Italy got it, I looked at it and said, oh, the EU's gone because they got open borders. So this thing is going to spread like wildfire through Europe and going to be bad. And so far, we are having a bit of an issue with it, aren't we? Yes, we are. Open borders are such a blessing to everyone. Yeah, sure. So we have 130 confirmed cases in France. We have 2 deaths and 12 recovered. In Germany, we have 117 confirmed cases. We have 16 recovered and 0 deaths. Thank God for that. Flashing over to Singapore, we are at 106 confirmed cases, 72 recovered, which is really high. They're really doing good there with the recovery. Now, again, these numbers are not representing everyone that is infected within the nations that we're talking about. These are only the confirmed cases, which means that they have been tested and it came back positive. There could be many that are either asymptomatic or just get a very low, have very low case of this that they never seek a doctor for. Because, like, for example, if I had a cough, I wouldn't necessarily go to the doctors for a cough or a common cold. I wouldn't. So, as I drink orange juice. I gotta keep my immune system up somehow. Okay, Hong Kong. Now, I do respect Hong Kong's numbers a little bit better. But not completely. But we'll go ahead and look at it. We have 69 as far as Hong Kong goes. We have 2 deaths and 36 recovered. Something I've noticed between all these nations is there seems to be a very big change between them as far as recovery goes and deaths go. There doesn't seem to be a constant rate between them. In Spain, we have 0 deaths, 2 recoveries, and 76 infected. Ooh, Nelly, this has gone off since I've seen it because this one hits a little closer to home. It's the United States, of course, and this will be the last one I touch on. Just because after this, it starts getting into very fine numbers. I might eventually look at these very fine numbers. But as of today, I'm not going to look into those. Right now... Oh, shoot. Sorry. I've not seen this yet today. This is completely new to me. We have 76 confirmed cases in the United States. We have 7 recovered. We have 1 in Seattle that has died of it. I'm not sure if that was because he got it somewhere else. So far, a lot of these cases have been imported. People were outside the United States, came back sick, but we do actually have our first death in the United States. That's kind of scary. That's a wake-up call there. We see it in California, which is one of my biggest worries. I'd say California, definitely. We see a bunch of infection there. We see a few cases there throughout California. That one's still existing. There's one in here. He's still. If I zoom up. Oh, okay. Well, that gives me no information when I zoom up. Don't zoom up too close. Okay. In California, there are still some existing. Again, these are just our confirmed ones that they are still dealing with. As we go across, there is down in Mexico. There are 4 confirmed cases, 4 still continuing. California. Jeez, my brain's going a bit loopy. In Canada, we still have a few cases there, not nearly as much as the United States. Mainly down in Ontario, down here. Oh boy. So we're going to keep up to date with this and keep this flowing. Keep you guys aware of what's going on with this as this expands. Do you guys have any plans for the future as far as if this becomes bad? I know that the media, the social media, and everything else, the news, is really ramping this up to be some sort of massive disaster. It could be a major plague that's gone through. We've been really spared as far as our times, as far as any sort of massive plague. We have not had one in many years that has stretched nearly this far. And definitely if it really picks up over the next couple of weeks. Let me know down in the comment fields down there. Leave a comment behind what your plans are. What happens if this starts hitting your area? What are you going to do? If you are currently struggling with this in your area, what are you doing to protect yourself and your family? Please leave your comments down below and let me know one way or the other what you're planning on doing. As for me and my family, luckily we are not seeing anything around us right now as far as anything close. But I mean, this could change. I mean, Europe, last week it was just in Italy. Now it's across all of Europe. So this could very easily change very quickly. Trump has done some great things as far as being able to prevent it. He got a lot of backlash about being racist at the beginning when he's like, we're not going to be accepting, people from China because this thing is being bad. And I still do believe that I think there's more and more evidence that this is something that is genetically modified, that this is something that was weaponized virus that was accidentally released in China. I know I've heard some conspiracies that also say that this might have been someone who was basically selling the weaponized virus or animals that were treated or were used for experiments at that market, at the exotic animals market. I don't know. I don't put much stock in it. I do put a lot of stock in this being a weaponized virus now, just because of how fast it spreads. And if I were to create a virus myself, that's what I would do, is basically build what this has become. So as far as my family goes, we will do our best to first isolate and then treat. We are preparing as much as possible for that. I would recommend anyone else, make sure you have food, make sure you have water, make sure you have an ability to sustain yourself for an extended period of time in case need be, up to and even including 6 months. being able to isolate yourself. I don't think it will be nearly that bad as far as tearing everything down. As far as zombie apocalypse or anything, so it's apocalyptic scale. No, I don't think we're going to be facing government collapse here. I think we'll face, possibly if it gets as bad as in China, we might face some closures. We might face some isolation, some quarantines. I don't think it will be nearly as bad because we have had the advantage of having weeks built up to this where China has not had any amount of time to go for a cure. We've seen this coming and have had at least some time to prepare for it, but we'll see how this hits. Good luck. Prepare. Make sure you have food, water, heat. Those are 3 critical parts. Definitely if you're in the northern United States where it's cold and icy, make sure you have access to heat. Make sure you have access to water. Water purification, the easiest way of doing that is being able to start a fire and boiling the water. Even if you bring the water only up to a boil, that's at least something. That kills 99% of microbes. If you can boil it for 15 minutes, that is even better because then that is completely sterilized and completely able for you just to drink it. Purification that way, there's a lot of, I'd recommend canned foods. If you have a freezer, be able to freeze stuff, keep frozen vegetables, frozen foods with you. If you have the ability to plant your own food, go ahead and do that. Counting on how far this goes. If this goes out to six months, I know my family and I will be fine. We have capabilities of being able to hunt and provide for ourselves if need be. We can also grow our own food. Those are some things that I really recommend you guys look into and start preparing for. I love you guys. I don't want to see... I love seeing you guys on here, leaving comments below. I don't want to see you guys go through any hardships or lose any family members during this time. I'm really worried that it's hitting California because of how bad California has been with sanitation recently. There and New York. I'm worried about both of those. If both those get hit, we are in some serious trouble. So let's go ahead and end this for now. I will give you another update next week. And this was last updated the 1st of March 2020. So that was its last update. It was 4 p.m. when it was updated last. And that's where we stand. I'll see you guys next week for the next update with this.